Trenton Journal is for people who won't take no for an answer. Trenton Journal is for community leaders. Trenton Journal is for people who won't settle. Trenton Journal highlights some of the positive voices in the community and fills in the information gaps through original reporting.
Welcome to Capital Conversations. I'm your host, Kenneth Miles, founder and publisher of the Trenton Journal. And today I have with me members of Conscious Venture Lab, Janae Coleman and Jeff Terry. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All right. We're going to just jump in. Got a lot of questions. I think the city of Trenton has a lot of questions about your program and what it is that you do, and why did you choose Trenton as a place to have this business incubator?
So I guess I'll start there. Thanks for having us again. Appreciate you doing this. So why did we choose Trenton? Or should I start with what we do?
What you do.
Yeah. So the Conscious Venture Lab is a program of an organization called the Novella Center for Entrepreneurship, which is a not-for-profit that works to support entrepreneurship in under-resourced communities, mostly. So we started in Baltimore about 13 years ago. I've got a long and sort of circuitous career. I'm an architect by training. I had an architectural firm. I ran a management consulting company that did a lot of different things. I ran a hedge fund on Wall Street. And I got into the early stage support and investing about 13 years ago to work really to support entrepreneurs that people were ignoring for all the wrong reasons. So we were pretty successful and have been pretty successful in Baltimore. And I went to college with Mayor Gusiora. And he knew what we were doing in Baltimore and came down to see what we were working on in Baltimore about 6 or 7 years ago and said, we need something like this in Trenton. We need someone to come and support building a startup and innovation ecosystem in Trenton. Not a lot was happening at the time. So he and I have been talking about that for a long time, about how we could bring our model to Trenton. So that's sort of why we decided to come to Trenton, and oftentimes, same reason where we actually decided to do this in Maryland. I started this business in New York City, but I knew some politicians and some people who were working in the startup ecosystem in Maryland. They heard about what we were doing and asked if we would be willing to come down there, and we did. So it's sort of the same thing. The mayor saw a need. We agreed with that and thought it would be a great place for us to do our second iteration.
Okay. Could you break down the program?
Yeah, happy to. So Conscious Venture Lab Accelerator program is a 14-week program geared towards entrepreneurs, founders who want to bring their ideas to life. For those who are already like, well, we already have a brand, right? Okay, so how do we take that idea? You already brought it to life. How do we scale it now, right? We want to make sure that those ideas are ready to go, venture backable. People can engage, interact, support, purchase, whatever that looks like. So 14 weeks dedicated to expanding their learning and development, setting them up for success in entrepreneurship.
So are you already in the throes of your first cohort?
We are, yes.
You are. Mm-hmm. How were these participants chosen?
Good question. I'll have Jeff answer that one, yeah.
So it's a pretty straightforward, if anyone knows the Accelerator model, it's pretty straightforward. We have a website, our organization we work with called F6S. It's a website where lots of accelerators from around the world, in fact, put out their call for applications. So we put out our call for applications about 12 weeks before we're ready to start. Maybe 16 weeks before we're ready to start. And we get that call into the community by working with what we call pipeline partners. So we talk to all the universities, we talk to NJIT, we talk to Rutgers, we talk to Princeton, we talk to all the universities, local, throughout the state. And then we talk with other local organizations, African American Chamber, people like that. And then we also did sort of lunch and learns and information sessions. So worked with a bunch of local folks to try and get the word out. We got about, I think, 80 applicants, I think, for the first cohort, which is not bad for the first time around. And then we're looking at these businesses to see who do we think has an opportunity to be successful. We also run a venture capital fund, so we're looking at businesses that we might want to invest in at the end of the program. So we do a whole series of interviews with the ones we think are the most promising, and after that series of interviews, we select the ones that we think that are going to be best for us to work with and that we can help the most.
Could you give me an example of some of the people who are participating in this program? What kind of businesses do they have?
Yeah, happy to. So we have 13 founders, 4 of which are based in Trenton. I think that's really important to point out. 9 of them are in New Jersey, 4 in Trenton. Some examples. I'll start with Skillform. He's a guy based up by Rutgers area, and he is running an AI-powered platform to help get folks career ready based on certifications in the trades, right? So that's one example. Another one of our Trenton businesses is Policy Over Politics, and she's bringing together government organizations, nonprofit leaders, and community organizers to work better together, right? Get on the same page. So those are 2 examples really quickly, and I think all of the ideas are really good, solid, and the people care about, again, bringing them to life, scaling them, etc.
Now, this question is for the both of you, how would you determine if what you're doing is a success?
Well, I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to, particularly here in Trenton, we're trying to seed the startup and innovation ecosystem. So I think success for us is how many businesses that come through the program get funding, how many businesses that come through the program are still operating in some period of time, 3 to 5 years, and how many jobs are they creating, right? I think that, we think that, that if you want to have a vibrant city, you have to have a vibrant startup community, right? Because that's where most of the jobs in the United States are created. Lots of people think that most jobs created at big businesses. That's not actually, the facts don't bear that out. Most jobs, most economic activity happens at the grassroots level. So we're trying to create this community of startups, of mentors, and even bring in investors so that we can create more jobs and more economic opportunity and more generational wealth in Trenton. So I think for me, success will be how many of the companies that came through got investment, and how many of those companies are building and creating new jobs in Trenton.
How do you get the people, Trentonians, involved in what you're doing?
Yeah, great follow-up question, because I want to add to what Jeff said. So I'm a Mercer County native. I'm born and raised in Lawrence. And for me, in addition to supporting the founders and their businesses, their ideas, I think it is so important that the community sees that, oh, I'm from here. I can have a great idea and I can make it happen, right? In collaboration with the Conscious Venture Lab Accelerator program. Other ways that we want to get the community involved so far, anytime I cater, I'm calling it Trenton. You know what I mean? Small business, right? Small things like that to support those who are around us, right? Like be for the people and by the people at the same time. Trying to think of other ways. Eventually, we want to move into like something called Trenton Tech Tuesdays, inviting people into the space to see what the space is, what we plan to do, and how they can get involved. In my ideal world, I don't know when this will start, but I want to have a community day once a month where people can come in and co-work once a month in the space. So those are just some ways that I want to invite people in, let people know that, again, we are for the community, of the community, and tell us what they'd like to see us do as well. I
want to piggyback on that, because the Trenton Tech Tuesdays is something Jamae came up with, and we think that's a really important thing that we're going to launch here. We did something similar in Baltimore. We did 180 straight, we call them Equitech Tuesdays, because we were trying to make tech more equitable. Same sort of thing we're doing here. But the thing why that's so powerful, because it's not just about the 13 companies that are in the cohort. It's about anyone who has an idea and how do we connect them all together. We have this thing we talk about, it's sort of an equation that we're working on, that we say that preparation plus uncommon access plus aligned capital equals growth. And the program is the preparation part. But Jamae and myself and the rest of our team, that's where the uncommon access comes into play. Because, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been the CEO for nearly 40 years. I'm not any smarter than anybody else. I've just been doing it a long time. So I've got a lot of connections. And I can bring those connections to startup founders and early entrepreneurs who might not be able to meet the people I know if not for the things that we're doing. So we're really excited about that part of the program, is sort of how do we bring people from literally from all over the country and all over the world that we've been working with to Trenton to help build this ecosystem.
Are you planning to tap into any schools in the area?
Absolutely, all of them. They're on my list today. They're going to get a schedule sent email this afternoon because we're hiring.
Okay.
Plug for that. We're hiring a program coordinator so that I'm not the only one based here doing the work. But absolutely, Princeton, Rider, TCNJ, Thomas Edison, Mercer County, they're all on the list.
Okay. I have to ask you, so your experience in Baltimore, are there any companies that, any startups that you worked with that stood out to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been there for a long time, so there's a whole ton of them. I think that one of the companies is probably our most famous company, I would say. It's a company called Hungry Harvest. They do reclaimed produce, so you've probably heard of the ugly fruit movement. So in the United States, 6 billion pounds of produce gets thrown away every year. Nothing's wrong with it. It's either supply chain issues or it's not perfect from an aesthetic standpoint. At the same time, there's something like 30 million people in the United States that are food insecure, that don't know where their next meal is coming from. So this founder sort of took one of those things to try and solve the other. So he goes to local farmers and distributors, and he gets that produce which otherwise would be thrown away. He buys it to them for pennies on the dollar. He sells it in what we call a tech-enabled CSA, community supported agriculture. So you and I could go on his website and buy a box of produce, and it'll be delivered to our home, once a week. And for every box that he sells, he works with community organizations to get more fresh food into underrepresented communities, people who are food insecure. That business, when you think about what he's doing, people are like, oh, it's a great social impact business. But it's just a great business. Mm-hmm. We invested in him. He was doing $40,000 a year in revenue. This year, he'll do something like $20 million in revenue.
Wow.
But in addition to that, he's helping people eat better, right? All sorts of different programs that he runs. So that's they were on Shark Tank. So one of our most famous companies, but we've got a bunch of them that we're very proud of.
Speaks to the need of being able to start your own business, given the climate of the economy we're in, where people are being laid off, AI is taking jobs. I think it's important for people to be able to start their own company at this day and age.
I couldn't agree more, right? This is the time when most of the most famous startups that we all know about and talk about were started in periods like this, right? When the economy wasn't great, when people were losing jobs, that's when people say, I got to do something different. I got to sort of take care of myself. No one's going to take care of me for me, so I got to do this on my own. And what we're trying to do is give people a platform that they can, to use to launch those ideas.
Now, Jamel, people are going to ask, how can they get down?
Yeah. Come see me, 143 East State Street, okay? You can start there. We're on all socials, right? So connect with us that way.
Give them the socials so they know.
Yeah. At Conscious Venture Lab, LinkedIn and Instagram, and then LinkedIn, Instagram, Novella Center for Entrepreneurship, Novella Center, either one. So social media, come see me. My email is Jai, J-A-I, M as in Monday, E, at novellacenter.org. I'm super active on LinkedIn as well, and on Facebook, because I recognize some of us are more present on that platform. But yeah, that's how they can get involved. Applications for Cohort 2 will open the last week of November. So we'll start to do information sessions around that so that we can, again, start to bring in more founders, especially those based in and around this area, for Cohort 2.
I got to ask you specifically, because you're from this area, what it is that you feel that Trenton needs or is missing?
Yeah. I'm going to answer the first wording of the question, right? Like, what does Trenton need? Trenton needs a reminder that, again, there are great minds here. Mm-hmm. Those great minds are generating the same great ideas that are coming out of other areas, New York, Philly, the Bay, et cetera, right? We are matching that with the skills and tools to, again, bring those ideas to life, okay? Or to reshape those ideas so that they can both be meaning making and money making. You can care about the people and make money at the same time. You don't have to struggle while you're trying to give back to the community. Those two things don't need to exist at the same time. So I think Trenton needs, what we hope to supply is some real hope, right? You can manifest all day. We want to match that with some action, right? So that's what I'd say in short.
You know, one of the smartest things that I've done since we started this thing was hire Jamae, because she's just, full of energy and knowledge, and also, just really, really being an impactful person. So I'm really glad that we found each other. And one of the things that she does is sometimes she reminds me of things that I should say. One of the foundational premises of what we do is that there's smart people everywhere. There's just not opportunity everywhere. And what we're trying to do is go into places where those opportunities haven't been manifested, those smart people have been ignored for the wrong reasons, and give them the opportunity to do something great.
I would love for the both of you to come back with one of your success stories.
Yes.
All right. So so you have an open invitation. Is there anything else that you would like to let the viewers out there know?
I'll repeat some of the things I said. We're hiring. That's really important, right? Salary is posted on the job description. Priority deadline is November 7th. Our doors are open, 143 East State Street. I really hope people come see us, connect with us. Trenton Tech Tuesday is coming soon. And
what about business mentors?
We are seeking business mentors. Come on.
All right.
We're actively seeking business mentors, especially, again, people close-ish to the area. I'd love for you to come and meet our business founders in person at least once a month. But yeah, if you think you can supply some good old encouragement, mentorship, thought leadership to our founders, please come. Anything else I would add? That's it. When I come back for round 2, I'll have even more plugs and ways that you can assist and support. So thank you.
I got to tell the both of you, I think this is amazing. Thank you for reaching out to me. Because this is I have my own questions, but in addition to the viewers and people in the city, but I think that what the two of you are doing, your team, is needed. Because we do have a lot of talent here, and I believe what you're doing will help facilitate the talent, and you don't have to leave to be a success.
Come on. Thank you.
Yeah. The one other thing I would add for that is that we are looking for the corporate community in and around Trenton to get involved as well, because these accelerator programs, it's the training and the money and the mentorship and all that sort of stuff, but it's also the community, right? Because lots of these companies that we're working with, that we're mentoring, that we're helping grow, they're looking for customers, right? And many of their customers are the major corporations that are around Trenton. So we're looking for the corporate community to get involved as well. We've done a really good job of that. In Baltimore, we've got folks like Under Armour and Brown Advisory all working with us. In Baltimore, the local corporate community, we need the same thing to happen here at Trenton. So that's another way that the community can help.
All right, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.